Okay, the Museum of Ice Cream is exactly what it sounds like. It's a physical and visual experience that has multiple pop-up locations. It just announced that San Francisco will be its first permanent location, and more than 1.5 million people have visited one of the museum's locations. The concept has been boosted by visits from Katy Perry and Kim Kardashian, and of course, people go and they post photos on Instagram. But founder Manish Vora agreed with me that there are a lot of problems with Instagram influencer culture. I spoke with Manish about the success of the Museum of Ice Cream at the IEG World Conference in Chicago yesterday. Take a look.
Instagram is just a platform of today. It's important from a communication standpoint, but ultimately what we're trying to do is we're seeing the destruction of Main Street. We're just seeing that in every city you have for sale signs, and commercial real estate is an apocalypse. You look at not just in the US, around the world, and we have seen this opportunity to really transform the offline experience. And when we think about the experiential economy, what we feel like we've been a major force in sort of driving innovation here is that there is a massive opportunity to redesign cities, to reignite the economy, to get people actually connecting. We actually think Instagram and the phone is probably our biggest issue in terms of engagement, in terms of of retail sales. Unless we get people off their phones, we're all going to be living in a very lonely America.
I'm glad you said that about getting people off their phones, because recently, a lot of people were talking about these Fire Festival documentaries. And to me, the takeaway from those documentaries was the risk and dangers that come with influencers, these Instagram influencers. Sometimes it gets a little nefarious in terms of what they're hawking and promoting. I mean, Fire Festival grew thanks to all these influencers promoting it. Talk to me a little bit about the downsides of kind of the influencer economy, because when we talk about Museum of Ice Cream, it's people going, they're posting photos, they want to show that they're here, but a little bit the kind of Instagram influencer trend is getting a little out of hand in some contexts.
Yeah, I think I think brands overvalue influencers. I think their biggest influencers are actually your authentic fans. So for us, yes, it's helpful that Beyonce and Kim Kardashian and all these folks have come to the museum, and we didn't give them free opportunities. Our celebrities paid to come to our museum. They are coming because they want to. We've spent $0 marketing to influencers. We've never paid an influencer to come to our museum. The reality is our biggest influencer is the everyday person. We have had 1.5 million people, and that means we've had 4 or 5 million posts from these people who are posting, and that's our fan base. And the reality is that people are sort of overvalue. We need to get these 10 influencers, and there are instances like the Fire Festival where it was massive. It took a zero brand, created a myth around it, but that's not the reality for real companies, for real brands. It doesn't drive our business at all. For sure, I am super happy if Beyonce wants to come to our museum any day, right. Every day, we will have them come and celebrate. But they're only going to post if they love the experience.
It's interesting stuff to hear him say, oh no, it's not influencers we want.
So you know what my takeaway from the Museum of Ice Cream, because I have been to one pop-up, which is that this retail experience, right? Which is you've got all these spots where you can take the photos, people are going to post it, that's free advertising. And then, oh, by the way, on the way out, you've got a whole, case of ice cream there, as well as products that remind you of ice cream, and you see people buying it all the time. So I wonder if that in some way is kind of a framework for some of these retailers that may be struggling.
Yeah.
You need a whole experience to get you to buy.
Yeah, they're definitely helping others. Like Dove chocolates, they had a promotion when the museum first opened where you would get free Dove chocolates, but if it had the gold wrap, you would get more boxes and more of it. And they saw their sales go up because of that. So they're really innovative in terms of, or maybe old school, I should say, going back to brick and mortar and getting people off their phones.
Well, it's both.
Doing old school partnerships with these businesses.
Yeah, it's both. He says we want people off their phones, but at the same time, they obviously love when people post a photo and say, look, I went to the museum, it's really cool, you should go.
Yeah,
it's a vicious cycle.
More engagement.
They both need each other.
Yeah.